Hello everyone, my name is Zard and welcome back to another video. And today I'll be talking about Lord of the Rings of Power, episode 8. So the final episode of this season. And I enjoyed this episode and I enjoyed the season as a whole. I would say I liked it. I didn't really like it. Like, I enjoyed it, but it's not like up there. It's not for me as a whole. There were some episodes that I really liked and are up there with I would say The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings films. But the series as a whole I don't think is as good as any of those films. Um, I enjoyed this episode. Of course, we learned who Sauron is, that being Hellbrand, which I really felt that it was coming at the end of the last episode. I liked him and I didn't want to think of it throughout the series, but I always knew it was a possibility. But I felt like I really knew it was going to be him at the end of last episode when they were going to Eregion or Linden, wherever, like Eregion, of course it was, but it didn't make it clear where exactly they were going last episode, just to the elves. And when they said they were going to the elves and Halbrand was going there, I felt that in some way he would get them to forge the rings, which they ended up forging the 3 for the elves. So we still have a few more to go, but um, it, yeah, him being Sauron. Of course, the episode started with the stranger being called Sauron, which I really didn't feel that was the case. I never really saw him as a potential Sauron, but by the end of the episode, he's not Sauron as the ones with the white robes determined. He is wise or a wizard. So which wizard he is, I'm not sure. With the gray robes, of course, Gandalf is the first character that comes to mind as one of the 5 wizards. Um, I don't know if I want him to be Gandalf. I think if I was to pick any of them, it would probably be the Blue Wizards. But I kind of, when I think of the Blue Wizards, I sort of think of them as a pairing. So, of course, in this case, you have a pairing of Nori and the Stranger. But Nori wouldn't be one of the wizards, at least that would be quite odd. So I don't know which wizard he would be, and if even he would be one of the 5 wizards, or I guess they could make up a wizard. I don't know what they're gonna do. But yeah, so they're gone off somewhere, and then the rest of the Harfoots are, I guess, on another migration. So the one to the Grove did not seem to last very long, and I don't know if it was fast after it was burned down, and then Sadok's death, which it was a sad death, I'd say, because I got to a point where I was liking the character. At the start, I was like, okay, I really don't care all that much about him, but by his end, the last 2 episodes, I've really liked the guy, and then he got killed off, which I'm happy that someone who was somewhat of a major character did die. I I feel like major character deaths can be important to a character's story, so I don't like the fact of every character surviving, and, well, most of the main characters did. Um, I guess every character in the show did lose something. Of course, Elendil still believes that Isildur is dead, and then um, the Queen Regent Marielle, which I believe now she would be the king, or not king, the queen. after the king's death, her father's death. Um, and yeah, that she's blind and she's just lost her father, so she's lost quite a bit. Durin wasn't in this episode. I feel like every other story except the Khazad-dûm one was in it. Of course, Elrond was in this, just not in the Khazad-dûm story. Celebrimbor had a big part in this episode. And it really seemed like Halbrand influenced him quite a bit. I don't know if they'll ever call him Anatar. That was sort of like, I don't, he said he had many names, and I would say that was one of them, right? And I don't know if he'll go by that at some point in, I believe, 5 seasons, so 4 more to go. I don't know when the second season starts filming. I think it's somewhat soon, so I don't know if that means it will come out next year, but probably not with all the visual effects and things that will have to go into the show. How long they'll actually take to create. So I would think 2024 for the second season. So I enjoyed this last episode, but it's not my favorite. My favorite episode, I still think, goes to that second last episode where you had the Númenóreans arriving and helping the people of the Southlands. And but I did enjoy the last 3 episodes of the show. I think I enjoyed the first episode, and then I didn't enjoy the next few episodes as much, but I enjoyed the last 3. So I think I guess half of it I really enjoyed, then the other middle half I didn't enjoy as much. So I'm hoping that is improved on for the second season of the show. But going into this show, I feel like there was never going to be a story or a show from Middle-earth that I would enjoy as much as the Lord of the Rings films, and I accept that. The thing that I wanted most in this series was to see Middle-earth, and I guess to see some characters like the dwarves and the elves and the Númenóreans, and I feel like I got that. One part, if other than just the story not, I guess, being as interesting to me as other stories in Middle-earth, which I hope to improve on, but the one thing that I feel I was missing of this show that I really wanted was the music. There were times where I really liked it. I think all the Khazad-dûm stuff was really good. And I really liked Poppy's song. But the other themes I didn't like as much. And I guess I feel like I want new music, but at the same time I want to hear the stuff that you hear in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and I absolutely love the themes that are done in those films, and I kind of just wanted to hear them again because those remind me of Middle-earth, whereas the themes here, they had tones of it, but it didn't remind me as much of Middle-earth, which is, I think for me, the most disappointing thing of this entire series was the music wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, because I love the story of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and I love the characters and the whole world and the journey that all the characters go on, and I absolutely love that. And that's part of it that makes those films so enjoyable to me. But the other part of it is the music. Without some of the themes, those movies aren't as good to me. Without the Shire theme, it's just so amazing. And of course, the Harfoots are different than the hobbits and the Shire folk, but I don't know. I really wanted to hear for the Harfoots a bit of the Shire theme, and I don't know if they can do it, but that's just, I hope that that was going to be in the show, and the music was the most disappointing thing, I think, for me in this season of the show. But overall, I did like this season. I liked this episode. I didn't like it as much as The Lord of the Rings, but I did enjoy it quite a bit. Um, I liked the characters. Durin was my favorite character. I would, and yeah, I think it was overall good. Um, Improvements that I'd like to see for the second season. Um, I guess the music, and I can't think of it right now what I would like to see different in the story. Um, but I guess I don't know. There's not much I can think of to change, but the music I think is the biggest thing that for the second season that I would like to see changed a bit. And I'm sure there's people who absolutely love the music, and there was something missing from it, and I think there was something missing from the whole series, or from at least most of the episodes, that I feel or have in the Lord of the Rings films. I the I don't know what's missing, but I feel that it's not missing in the other Middle Earth projects. Well, it is missing a bit here. So going into the second season, 3 of the rings are forged. I don't know. I guess 4 characters will see um, the journey of the stranger as well as Nori. Um, More Numenor. I don't know if the Numenorians will come back to Middle Earth now or when they will. Um, I don't know if we'll see the fall of Numenor either. I could see it starting in the first episode of the second season and leading up to that, or sort of starting to lead up by the end of the season and then happen through the third season. I'm not really sure where Galadriel's story will go, whether she now goes on a hunt for Hellbrand or ends up finding Celeborn. I don't know exactly what her story will be. Um, Durin, I like. I feel like the elves have sort of found their solution to the mithril problem. At least that seems to be what they have found. So I don't entirely know what Durin will be doing. I guess we could see the death of his father and then him taking over. I'm sure that will happen sometime during the series, and we'll see him and Disa on their thrones. And I hope that that power does not like corrupt him, make change Durin. I don't want him to change, but I could see that for sure happening, just being a terrible king of Middle Earth, which we've seen, I feel like, quite a few times. And I don't know if, going back to the Numenorian part, if Marielle will be the queen for long, just because of her being blind. I don't know if the people of Numenor will want a different leader because of that, and then that leads to Farazan becoming the leader. I don't know where Farazan fits in and where or when he will become the leader of Numenor, and then the fall of Numenor, of course, happening after that. So I feel like I don't think the fall of Numenor will happen next season, because I feel you need Farazan, the Faithful, the True Numenorians, and all that to happen, which probably takes up about an entire season. And then the next season, you can see the fall of Numenor. Um, so yeah, I'm excited to see the second season. I'll watch really anything that happens to be part of Middle Earth. I love Middle Earth, and I enjoyed this series or this season as a whole. There's certain things that I would change, but I did enjoy it. And talking about Lego now, I guess Mordor and Mordor set would be cool. I think as a fun play set, a Forging of the Rings, there I feel you could include probably a lot of play functions to try to make a feature have sort of a stud go down a slope, and you could sort of have a cool function in there to forge rings, and I think that would be kind of a cool set. And of course, in that set, you could include Celebrimbor, Elrond, Halbrand, Galadriel if you want a couple other elves. A cool elven build, because all the structures and architecture, I think, in these elven kingdoms is absolutely wonderful, and I'd love to see that represented in Lego. I feel like we really only saw it once with that council set, so I'd like to see more of that. But I'm excited to see now, because the next time I talk about the second season, Lord of the Rings Lego sets will be out, because in January we should have the BrickHeads. Those did come from a pretty reliable source, so I expect them to come. I know there was a rumor of an Arwen and Aragorn one, I believe. So I haven't heard much of that from many sources, so I don't know if that one's actually coming out, but I feel like I really wouldn't be shocked if we get playsets by the time the second season comes out, and I think I'm really excited to see what comes of Lego Lord of the Rings. I won't probably be talking about Lord of the Rings or Lego Lord of the Rings until those sets release. So I'm really excited to see them. I've enjoyed recording these videos and just talking about this show, which I've enjoyed. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.